Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone, and a very good morning. I'm sure all of you are pretty early today, if there's anyone out there. So, for your information, we will start the talk at 9:05 a.m. Let's wait for a while for others to come in. For those of you who are here already and early, kindly fill in the attendance form. It's going to be provided in the description box, or you can see it pinned in the comments section. Welcome everyone to Intern Talk. It is now 9 a.m. on a Thursday morning. I hope you all are doing okay. So we will start our talk at 9:05 a.m. again. Let's wait for another 5 minutes for the other participants to enter this platform. Now, while you're here and you're early, please fill in the attendance form that is in the description box, or you can find it pinned in the comment section. Just a sweet reminder, I would like to remind all of you to fill in your attendance form carefully. Let's avoid any mistake, and please make sure that you use capital letters and don't misspell anything because this is for your e-certificate. So let's wait another 5 minutes for other attendees to come. Hi, early audience. So while we wait for another 5 minutes for other participants to come in, why not comment down below how you feel today, how you feel this morning, whether you have a tight schedule ahead, or what are your expectations for this talk. Are you excited for internship? Let me know. Put your comments down below. All right, so we have a comment here from Shazrina. Hi, I'm excited to gain new knowledge from this talk. We're excited to provide that information with you. Our speaker here today is going to be a very experienced speaker. She's going to share everything that she knows about HR, about your internship, things that you probably won't find if you're Googling it. So let's get it from an experienced practitioner, why don't we? So we got a comment from Fatin. I want to stay hotel during my internship. Oh, don't we all? We all want a comfortable environment to stay in, don't we, during our internship? So if we could stay in a hotel, that'd be cool. I want to stay at an island. Good morning, Husna. How are you doing this morning? So we have another 3 minutes to go. While you're waiting, you can fill in your attendance form. Again, please remind it to fill it carefully. Don't make any mistakes. You don't want another person's name on your certificate. Kuzna says, I'm scared. I'm scared for internship too. I can't believe that internship is closing in. Hopefully, inshallah, it will all be okay. And especially with the speaker sharing her information today, hopefully we'll get less and less nervous and we'll excel in internship, inshallah. So we got another 2 minutes to go. If you just entered, please fill in your attendance form first. You don't want to be distracted during the talk. So fill in your attendance form early. Please avoid any mistakes. Don't misspell because this is for your e-certificate again. So we're going to wait another 2 minutes for other participants to come in. While we wait, please fill in the comment section with your expectations for internship, your expectations for talk. Have you been to an internship already? If you have, share your thoughts below. If you haven't, what are your expectations during internship? Where do you plan to intern? Let's talk about that. So while we wait, I just want to inform everybody that the Wanted Soft Skills program is a 3-day program with 3 different talks. So we're going to have a different talk tomorrow on adaptability, and we're going to have another talk on the third day, which is on Saturday. So look forward to those. Those are going to be fun too. But while you're here today, let's talk about internship. So if you can see down below at the comment section, KLMSS has already pinned your attendance form below. So fill it in while we wait for other attendees to come. We've got 1 minute to go. I hope you're all doing good this morning. It's pretty early, isn't it? So just a final reminder for those of you who are here already, kindly fill in the attendance form that is provided in the description or in the comment section below. Just a sweet reminder, again, I would like to remind all of you to sign in your attendance carefully to avoid any mistakes and any misspellings because this is for your e-certificate. So without further ado, let's get into today's program. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning everyone. My name is Anis Farhana Badrul Nizam and I am a third year, second semester NCOM student, and I'm going to be your MC today. So for today, for your information, this intern talk is one of the program under Wanted Soft Skills. There are 3 other programs that is organized by the Public Relations Divisions of KLMSS Session 2021. Before we start our talk today, I would like to invite Brother Saiful to lead the Dua recitation. May our program today be filled with barakah, inshallah. Please welcome.
بسم الله الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم احنا بالإيمان وأمتنا بالإيمان واحشرنا بالإيمان وأدخلنا جنة نعيما. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا وارحمهم كما ربونا صغارا ولجميع المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Ya Allah, on this glorious day, in conjunction with the Wanted Soft Skill Intern Talk program, we uphold our hands to pray gratefully, to thank on your infinite favors to us till we can live in peace and harmony, to perform our tasks as your servants. Ya Allah, we ask your blessing to make this occasion a success. Allahumma ya Hayyu ya Qayyum ya Dhal Jalali wal Ikram. You are the mercy of the mercies and you are the Lord of the universe. Give us mercy from your presence and shape for us the right conduct in our plight. We ask you for knowledge which is beneficial and sustenance which is good and deeds which are acceptable. Ya Allah, do accept our ibadah during this month of Ramadan. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين.
Ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Brother Saiful. Inshallah, let's hope that our program today is blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you that this talk intends to give students like you and me alike as much exposure relating to soft skills that are needed and required in our future careers. So, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you this morning to Intern Talk. I hope all of you are doing well wherever you are, whether you're at home, you're at the mahalla, or whether you're in the car. Let's listen to this program like it's a podcast. So, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all of you again for joining our talk today on how to develop and improve the students' skills and abilities in the real career world. So, now it is time to finally welcome our invited speaker. She is a Chief Human Resource Officer from Manulife Insurance, Berhad, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Please welcome our speaker for today, Ms. Aiza Aryati Binti Kasim.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Can you hear
Waalaikumsalam.
me?
Very good morning. Yes, I can hear you very clearly. Thank you again, Ms. Aiza, for being our speaker today and taking your time out of your busy schedule. We are very honored to have and welcome you to our program today. So, how are you today, Ms. Aiza? How has your Ramadan been? How has your day been?
Okay, today is great actually. In Kuala Lumpur, it's a public holiday. So it's been my pleasure to spend my public holiday today in the morning with all of you here and share as many insights and experience that I've been. I was once a student like all of you many years ago. So I'm more than happy and excited, yeah, to do more sharing after this.
Inshallah, we're so excited to hear you share your knowledge as well. So, moving right along, let's begin our program. It is my pleasure to introduce again our guest speaker, Ms. Aiza Aryati, who is an experienced Chief Human Resource Officer. Has a demonstrated history of working in the financial services and IT industries. Ms. Aiza is also skilled in project management, talent management, succession planning, recruiting, and also compensation and benefits. She is also passionate in driving employee experience strategies. Now, let's begin our program with a few questions. I'm sure all of us have these questions in mind. So, I would like to ask you my first question, Ms. Aiza. As a HR practitioner, what is your view on this? So, a lot of students, including myself, we are very worried if our chosen workplace does not match our personalities, our goals, and our passions. So, what do you have to say about this? Are there any tips that you can share so that the students can choose their internship places wisely? Yes, Aiza? We are facing a technical difficulty at the moment, so please be patient while we reconnect Miss Aiza to the talk. So while we wait and reconnect Miss Aiza to the talk, why don't you put your comments down below about if you are worried about the same thing, whether your workplace does not suit your personality and your passions and all. Where do you wish to work? All right. So we have Miss Aiza back. While we wait for her, you can put your comments down below on your workplace goals and passions. Where do you intend to work? What do you wish to face in the working environment? What sort of work are you willing to do or are you looking forward to do in your internship? So I apologize again on behalf of the organizing committee and on behalf of Ms. Aiza on the technical difficulty.
I do apologize. I do apologize. Hello, can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. The network is just challenging this morning. I'm not so sure why. Okay, so basically, I've got your question, and I'm so sorry to all the fellow audience. But firstly, before I start, Assalamualaikum to everyone. Good morning, and it is my pleasure. Thank you so much for spending your morning today in wanting to listen in and gain some tips about internship. And secondly, I would just like to say thank you so much to Saiful, first of all, who has been very persistent in trying to contact me and trying to arrange for today. And thank you, Anis, and also fellow committee members who actually, I'm very impressed with all of you in terms of how you're going to conduct the virtual setting and the preparation for today. Thank you so much. Now, let's go straight to the question, right? So how do you want to ensure that you choose the right internship company based on your personality or your passion, yeah, or your interest? So before we go there, first of all, in terms of going into an internship or even your first job, there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong company to begin with. I myself, when I graduated, I have no idea in terms of which company, which industry that I wanted to actually join. Yeah, I graduated in business management. It's very wide, it's very general. So what I did was, as a start, is just to go through the advert and see which company are advertising for such exposure or for such opportunity. So as a start, perhaps, is to first of all have your profile in the LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the current media that is used by almost all companies in order to find talent and also to advertise any opportunity, be it internship or career opportunities. So as a start, perhaps, is to go through the advert and see which company are advertising for such opportunity.
Miss Isa, I think we lost you again. All right, so we lost Miss Isa again. Again, I would like to apologize for this technical difficulty. Okay, Miss Isa, you're back.
Now I'm using my mobile phone.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. So
You were talking about LinkedIn.
yes. So first of all, as a start, have your profile in the LinkedIn. Okay, and it's okay if you don't have a working experience. So you just can put in all your necessary information about what are the which majoring are you in, which what degree and which university are you currently at. So have that, and there's also a space, in the LinkedIn for you to put in what are your passion and your interests. So that also will give an idea for the organization or the employer to know about your personality. Okay. Then, secondly, is also back to the mindset. First, about not being how to say, don't be so stressed about that. Is this the right or wrong company? The second one, take this as your exploration stage. Imagine that you are exploring something new. For example, when you actually finish your high school, your sekolah menengah, right? And then you go into the university life. It's a new exploration for you in the university life because it's a new, different expectation. It's a much more difficult than high school, and it's new friends, new competition, and new teachers. So same thing when you are now exploring from your university life to exploring an internship with a company, take it as an exploration stage. So when you set in your mindset that taking it as exploration stage, you will be less stressed and you'll be more flexible and open to then explore what then the company is all about, and then try to fit in and try to adjust yourself to fit in into the company environment and the culture. Okay, now the next one, what is key, in fact, while you are trying to explore what would be interesting for you, if let's say you still want to tie to your passion and interest, is to do quite a number of research. Okay, first thing first is try to find out what are all the different industry available in Malaysia, okay, or even available in the state where you are staying, if let's say you are not flexible to work outside your state. Okay, so find out the industry. Now, even before you do some research about what industry are available, have some idea what kind of degree that you are pursuing today. Are your degree something that is very specific to engineering, for example? Then engineering typically will go for a manufacturing industry. Okay, but if you're taking something that is generic, business, or I'm not too sure the audience here what kind of background, then you have various industry that you can explore. After you find out the list of the different industry, then go deeper into finding out. For example, maybe if you want to go to most how to say highly rated or highly ranked companies, then use your creativity in the Google search. Google search should be your best friend. It is still my best friend until today, despite me being an experienced worker. Trust me, I still do research until today, but of course I assign it to my intern. And then find out like top 10 companies in a public relation industry, or top 10 company in oil and gas industry, top 10 best bank to work for. So have those all research done, and then after that you need to go even deeper. Okay, so you already start with the industry, and then you go into the type of the company. When you see certain interesting companies that you are curious about, then go deeper into the website of those company. What I would advise is that read through. There always, each website of the company would have about us. So read through about the company, when it is cooperated, what is the nature of the business. Now, understanding the nature of the business of the company can be one of the way for you to actually evaluate whether is it something resonate to you or not, whether is it something that may interest you, or maybe you're also one of the consumer of those certain companies. So that's one of the way. Then secondly, when you are in the company's website, I also recommend that you go into downloading their what we call annual report. Okay, each company would have what they call a document called annual report. It's normally 30 to 50 pages. Yes, it's a lot, because it gives you a very comprehensive information about the company. You will be able to see about their financial situation. You will be able to see who are in their management team. And then you will also be able to see some of the key updates in relation to what they do as a business, plus their CSR activity. Now, that's where when you read out the segment on the CSR, because every company normally would have a certain corporate social responsibility contribution back to the society, that is also another avenue for you to see if it's something that resonates and match with your passion and personality. Okay, now after that, another way is that when you actually already have your profile in the LinkedIn, and then you start to use the LinkedIn function, where it can help you to filter internship opportunity that is being advertised. Okay, then when you got into the company that you're interested in and you apply, the next step in making sure that you choose the right internship company is to make full use of the interview session that you have with those company. Now, when you want to go into the interview, how do you make full use of the interview session. And that's where you need to do quite of a bit of a homework. Number one, get to know or do the research about the company that you are going to meet for the interview. Number two, if let's say in the interview arrangement, find out who will you be meeting. Ask the HR person that is arranging for you and ask, may I know who are the panel interviewer who will be interviewing me? Even if it's the HR person, get her name or his name and do some Googling search about the person. Especially start with, try to check out the linking profile of the panel interviewer. So at least it will give you an idea about the background of the person who is interviewing you. It is always good to find out and know a little bit about the person that who is going to interview you so that it can make you also less stressed and more prepared. And in case you can foresee the kind of question that he or she will be asking you, and you can then prepare your own answer based on the background of the person. Okay, and then during the interview is very key. Making full use of the interview is also to be very curious. How do you be very curious? I suggest at least if you can list down 10 questions, at least at minimum 3 questions. That is normally I take intern every year. In fact, I have to hire intern every 3 months because interns can only do their internship only for 3 months as part of their curriculum. Now, as even a HR and those that interview interns, I like interns who are very curious and they at least have 3 minimum questions. Now, why is it important for you to be prepared and have question? It's because at least we know that you are interested and you're interested about the role. You're interested to know more about the company. And in some of those questions that you are preparing, what's key is because remember just now back to the question, right? You want to know whether you choose the right company. So one of the questions that you should ask is about ask the panel interviewer to describe the company culture. That is one of the key questions. Number two, ask the person, why is he or she working there? What do they like about working in that company? Then that can give you a little bit of insight about what makes the person happy or engaged with the company. And the third one, get clarity about the roles and responsibility. This is very key, my fellow audience, because you know why? Because you are pursuing a degree and you're doing internship as part of your curriculum. Try to avoid companies that misutilize intern. So in reality, sometimes there are companies who misutilize interns. Either number one, they will make use of the intern to just do photostatic, okay, and photocopying and just filing. So be very careful and be very clear about the roles and responsibility and the expectation. Number two, ask them to provide example about what would you be doing in terms of your job activity when you become the intern over there. Have that clarity. That is very, very important so that you are not being manipulated or being put into a role that will not actually benefit you, and later on maybe your lecturer would also maybe not happy and satisfied with the kind of exposure that you get. Okay, so normally, for example, even like Manulife, we assign intern equivalent to a fresh grad. So we will assign job that is really require your thinking skill, your creativity, your interpersonal skill, your communication skill, as well as your resourcefulness. Those are very key type of skill set that if you a good internship will give you that kind of skill set exposure. Okay?
Right. Miss Aiza, you have about 30 seconds to finish up the
Yeah,
first portion of
there's so
the
many tips
session.
actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is good.
So
But
at
I'll
the
give you
end of
about
the
30
day,
seconds to finish it.
okay, so at the end of the day, yes, you have your own respective personality, passion and profile, right? But the key thing is be agile, be adaptive, learn to tolerate, and then learn to absorb, be patient, persevere, have a resilience and grit. Then definitely you are there to prepare yourself for your future career.
Inshallah. All right. Thank you, Miss Aiza, for answering the first question. So, basically, what you need to do to choose your internship place wisely is understand that there is no right or wrong and explore your opportunities. Some might even say list down all of the places that you want to apply for internship and see which one accepts you. So, don't stress out about internship. This is just 3 months of your life, but still, consider your options, consider your personality as well, and make sure you prepare for your internship properly in terms of research. Understand your job, understand the company, and utilize those 3 months of your lives to explore and understand the job opportunity and the career world, and understand whether this job is right for you as well. Okay, so moving on to our next question. So, as a HR practitioner, Ms. Aiza, I'm sure you understand about human relations as well. So, in terms of interpersonal relations, let's say we have an issue with our colleague at our internship place. So, what do you have? What do you have to say about this, and what are your tips on how we could overcome this problem?
Okay, so this one is not gonna be a long answer because I'll just, but maybe I'll just share a little bit before I really go into the actually answering the question. Sorry, there must be some context so that I can give you some further understanding about the real world, in the working world, which is so different in the university life. So first of all, uh, when you actually join the working world, it's a different kind of relationship and friendship that you can find in the workplace. If I may share, sometimes there's no such thing as best friend at work. Okay, but there are professional working relationship, yes, and you won't find the kind of honest or how to say, the kind of emotional engagement of friendship that you can find in your student life. So that's why it's key for you to be able to firstly do a little bit of detachment, I must say. So meaning to say, like for example, I just give example here because Anis is my partner in today's morning session, right? So Anis is really Anis Farhana, her true friend to everyone in this university. Okay, but then once Anis step into a company A, for example, or even let's say Manulife, you have to wear a different hat, a hat as Anis Farhana, who is hired as an intern in Manulife Insurance Berhad. So when you change that hat, automatically then it comes with then professionalism inside there. And it's the same thing that everyone else, workers in any company would do. However, that is the ideal situation, but that would be the foundation as a start to do the different hatting, to change the hat. Then, when you come into the working world, and there could be maybe certain conflict or, like you say, issues with a fellow, colleague, the first person, at least, if let's say you feel that the situation is really, really dramatic, it's really, really affecting your ability to deliver your work, especially, definitely you need to escalate firstly to your supervisor. Okay, so that's the key thing. However, my advice, when you escalate to the supervisor, be very, very sure that it is not just you taking it so personally. You are not oversensitive about it, but you assess it as, and that's where you're going to practice, exercising good judgment in order to determine as to whether such conflict or issue is really an issue. Because in the working world, you will face variety of character that will be totally different in terms of how the treatment with each other that you face in your university life. So you could probably face people who probably seem to you to be rude or talking to you in a very high tone and disrespectful manner. But could it be because that's the nature of the person? Could it be because sometimes some people, that's just the way they speak? But at the end of the day, it's all in the name of work. It's nothing personal. So you have to try and use your judgment, okay, to assess even if it's an issue. And if it's an issue, you try to speak to the supervisor. Now, if let's say you escalate to the supervisor, but the supervisor does not want to help, because sometimes it depends whether you get a good supervisor or a not so good supervisor. Okay, whether you get a supportive supervisor or not a supportive supervisor. And that's where HR must is key in an organization. But you're also depending whether you get an approachable HR or not. But HR would be the next step for you to escalate those issues. Now, if I may share some of the key critical issues, example, that definitely you need to escalate is number one. If you are asked to do something by any other colleague that has got nothing to do with your roles and responsibility, and you find it unprofessional, definitely you need to escalate. Number two, if there's element of sexual harassment, definitely you need to escalate. Number three, if you see there's element of bullying, that is also key for you to escalate, because you are fresh, you are student. If you come across a company with not so good culture, sometimes there might be bullying at work. So you have to assess then, what kind of issue. Now, so this is where, like again, I quickly recap: escalate to the supervisor. If the supervisor is not helpful, then escalate to HR. Okay, so that would be. Now the third one, maybe if really worst case scenario, if it's really unfortunate that you join not the right company with the right culture, so the supervisor was not helpful, the HR was not helpful, then please escalate to your lecturer. Then maybe your lecturer need to help, or and see whether is it something, an internship that you have to end, or and look for somewhere else, or whether something, then get advice from your lecturer, if your lecturer be able to then speak to the HR. But so far, my more than 20 years, I do not see any issues or such thing. And being, with various banks especially has a lot of dramatic issues. So far, it doesn't go to that extent. So exercise your judgment to assess whether is it really an issue, and take it as a learning lesson of trying to also learn about interpersonal skill and communication skill in dealing with this, because sometimes not sometimes, because you will face colleagues or co-workers with various personality and background and with various working attitude. Okay, now what's key and more important is that you stay true to yourself. Things that you can control is yourself, right? Because you cannot control others. So stay true to yourself by ensuring that you do the right thing. Okay, integrity, work integrity is very important. In case anyone need clarity, what is work integrity? What it means is you are still doing the right thing even though nobody is looking. So that's what it means, example of integrity. And then be responsible, meaning to say, take accountability towards the role and responsibility that is assigned to you. And most important, the foundation, be professional. Try to avoid or even avoid totally. And this is something tips that I want to share with you that I've been holding on ever since I was 23 years old, which I was not fortunate to have internship. After I graduated, I straight away jumped into the working world when I was 23. Some principles that I hold on to myself are those things just now: be true to yourself, do the right thing, be responsible. Now, other things that I stay true to myself is that go back to your intent. You know, what exactly is your intent and purpose? Is to gain knowledge through the working experience, right? And then don't gossip. When you build relationship with your co-workers, do not gossip, do not have corridor talks. Just focus in getting your job done. If you stay true, inshallah, your niyat inside is ikhlas. It's really towards that you work because you wanna, this is part of your assignment, and of course kerana Allah, right? Then and you just focus in getting your job done, inshallah, you will find peacefulness, harmony along the way as you go through your career, which is alhamdulillah, that has been the case for myself personally. And you do not even have any enemies at all as you go along and meeting all the different people that you work with throughout your career. So that would be my tips for the second question.
All right, thank you again, Ms. Aiza, for answering the second question. So overall, what you need to do is detach from your not social life, but your social university lifestyle. You know, it's different in the setting of a workplace. And personally, I've been in a workplace before, and you would have to detach from the emotional attachment where you get to know people and then you get close to them. You know, because this is a working world. They are your colleagues. They are not your friends. They are acquaintances. Maybe some of them can be your out of work friends, but mostly at your workplace they are your colleagues. So you need to know again, like Miss Aiza said, your rights, and know that if you are asked to do nothing that's related to your job, you should definitely report that colleague. Sexual harassment, bullying, especially those two are very important for you to know your rights and know if those are things that should be done at the workplace, then you should definitely seek to your supervisor. And then if that doesn't work, look for help from the HR. If that doesn't work as well, talk about it to your lecturer. Maybe they can help intervene. And to finalize what Ms. Aiza said, be true. And I believe that this is a principle that you have to hold as well, the principle that you have to hold to yourself as well. With anything, not just internship, but with anything, be true to yourself, do the right thing, and be responsible. So that is all for this second question. So let's move on to the third question. Actually, before we move on, I have another a mini question for you, Ms. Aiza. Is it better
Oh,
to
a
start
surprise question.
a mini? It is a mini question, but you can answer later on.
Oh, okay.
But is it better to join a startup company rather than a big company? So you can think about it, but later, maybe if you have an answer, you can answer this in the third question. So let's move on to the third question, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are still here and you are still connected with us intellectually and connected with us internet-wise. Okay. So for the third question, how can students turn this internship? You know, obviously, students go through internship during their final years. Some of them do it before their final year project. So how should we as students turn this internship into a full-time position with that same company after graduating?
Okay, so thank you for the question. This is also another great question, and I will answer this in two parts. Okay, because number one, in terms of your chances, of being absorbed as a permanent or as a how to say, as a worker, as a real worker, right? It is beyond your control actually, because it depends on the company's workforce planning, whether do they have the budget of the headcount and the position. I give you a real life example for in my team, in my HR team. Why do I continuously hire intern? Because I do not have the position to hire someone as a fresh grad, as a permanent into the team. I only have the budget to hire interns. So I'm being very transparent. So this is the first part where it is beyond your control. It's nothing to do about whether you're a good intern or not a good intern, but sometimes the company itself has a limitation in terms of their manpower budget. Now, if let's say on the other part where the company actually have the necessary budget and the opportunity for you to be considered as a fresh grad, number one is to make sure that you clearly communicate your intent with the HR person that you are dealing with, or even with your supervisor who is supervising you and sponsoring you during the internship. You should share with them about your curriculum, because sometimes company do not know whether are you already at the tail end of your third year, the final semester, that after that you are ready to be in the workforce. Or most likely, I only normally get second year student. I hardly get those that is already final year ready for employment. So communicate about your how to say, start your timing, yeah, your whether you are readily available right after you finish the internship. Now, secondly, if you have the intent, or maybe from beginning, that you would want to be, considered for the position in the company, which is why it goes back to the first two questions in summary, where making sure that at the onset you find with the most information that you have done your research, and based also on your judgment after the interview session, that you feel that comfortable and this is the place. And that's where you share your intent with the line manager and the HR, that you are very excited and very engaged with the company, and let them know that you are also flexible to try out any different roles, not necessarily the same department, not necessarily the same function. You know why? Because that could probably give you more chances and more possibility of being absorbed by the company. So other than that, another tips, if let's say you know the company would have the budget to hire people or to absorb, during your internship assignment, besides the roles and responsibility that is assigned to you, the companies usually have a lot of activities and events, especially employees events. Put up your hand and sign up as volunteer and participate in those events. That will also be one of the avenue for you to build your own internal network within the organization. And then you never know who you bump into or who you get to know within that organization, who could probably looking for a fresh grad in their team. And that's where it gives you even chance, yeah, and to actually be given the opportunity to be absorbed by the company. So that would be my answer. So it could be a situation where it's beyond your control because the company do not have the budget. But if you know of the company that really would have the plan to test you out first as an intern, and then after that the potential of being absorbed, I just have a few quick tips that I would like you to keep in mind as part of your own work ethics, yeah, that you should have. Number one is be very curious during your assignment. So whenever your supervisor assign you those assignment, get ask them question. It's okay and it's even great. I always like if my intern asks me question, because then I know they are very interested with the role and they are very curious. So ask question about the assignment. So if the assignment say that you need to actually complete this project A within this timeline, for example, ask them, why are we doing this project A? How would this project A add value to the company? Or how is this project A affecting the customers that we are serving, for example? So be curious, be creative in terms of the assignment that is given to you. And then secondly, when you are given any assignment at all as an intern, everything is new to you, right? It's not something that you are used to and not familiar. And that's even more, also get some tips about, this is where working smart versus working hard. That's also another working practice that I've been doing for the past 20 years. Now, how do you work smart? Is by basically asking for tips. Hey, how do we go about this assignment so that then you do not need to go the long way or a different way, so that you work smart and maybe is a much smarter way to complete the assignment. So be curious in terms of how to complete an assignment. Get the tips from your supervisor or your fellow co-workers in the team. If you're working in the team, that would be very fantastic to help you speed up your execution and your deliverables of your work. Secondly, proactively manage your supervisor. Now, I don't know whether you're familiar or not. So this is something, if I were to give example to your student life today, I'm sure you also sometimes strategize on how you want to manage your lecturer, for example. So you probably know your lecturer, which one is lecturer garang or tak garang, or which lecturer that will give you hard time and stress in the class, or which one that is maybe chill and relaxed, right? So those are the different character of lecturers. Same thing in the working world. You would have different character of line managers. So be proactive in managing your supervisor would be good, because you would have certain supervisor that has very high expectation, and sometimes you have certain supervisor with not much expectation. So they have different variety of how you want to make sure that you meet their expectation. And that's where you must be proactive. And that's where you're going to learn about how to read characters, how to use certain psychological aspect of getting to know people, getting to know your supervisor, so that you'll be able to strategize on how to proactively manage your supervisor. Then thirdly is staying focused. That is very, very key. Do not get distracted when you are given the role and the responsibility as an intern, especially if you are paid an allowance. We want to make sure that allowance that we earn is blessed, it's read out by Allah, right? And that's why when from starting of the point you enter the office, let's say 8 or 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock, stay focused where don't get distracted with personal things or personal calls or what, unless it's emergency, but staying focused in just working. That's another at work ethics that even I live by myself. So I will also assess, nowadays we are busy with WhatsApp, right? I will only entertain WhatsApp, personal WhatsApp during break, unless it is very, very urgent and emergency. The next one is have confidence. Have confidence in raising out your views, your opinions, your suggestion, and be very active in participating in company events. That will also help you to, in case you have that aspiration to be absorbed by the company. And last but not least, make the time, don't be shy, and do internal network. Have lunch, have breakfast with your colleagues. Don't eat alone and just eat at your desk. You must socialize. That's also part and parcel of trying to, build your network within the company. So those are some of the tips, in two parts. If let's say, in terms of the possibility of being absorbed by the company.
All right, thank you, Miss Isa. To conclude, what Miss Isa, the tips that you gave just now is to understand the transparency between both parties, you and the company as well. So you have to understand if the company has budget or has position available, or what do you call it? A vacancy for a full time position, then probably you would have a chance to be absorbed as a full time worker. And you as well have to be transparent with the company and let them know if you want to continue on with the company after you graduate, if you want to extend your work with the company. And be open to try out other positions as well. You probably won't have any full-time positions open for the position that you want, but you might have other positions as well. Be curious, like you said, to explore these other options. So, in terms of work ethics, I fully believe that if you volunteer and you network yourself, you can make it through to the career world. You should understand, ladies and gentlemen, that networking is extremely important in the career world. Actually,
Yes.
you connect with people. You don't know whatever opportunities that may come your way. Okay, so open up those possibilities, open up those windows and doors. So in terms of work ethics, like Miss Isa said, be curious. In terms of career, curiosity does not kill the cat. Curiosity will bring you to another opportunity. And be proactive and stay focused on your work, not get distracted. I believe staying focused is something that we all need to do in our lifetime, actually, for anything besides work as well. So I guess that is all for our questions for today, for the three questions that I will ask you. So I'll now open the floor to the audience in the comment section. You can comment your questions if you have any questions for Miss Isa. Please comment down below and we will read out your questions. Okay, so we have the first question here. Let's see. This is from Farah. Hello, Farah. Assalamualaikum. Hi, may I know what are some of the most essential qualities for successful interns? Okay, Miss Isa,
Okay.
you can take this question.
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Farah, for the great question. So hopefully you've been taking notes from beginning because some of the answers basically I've shared, but I don't mind just to do a quick recap. Yeah, the essential qualities. So first and foremost, like I said, like I shared earlier, is be curious. Be very curious because once you are curious, it will open up to so many different way of how you want to put in your effort and your dedication and your commitment to have to make the initiative, yeah, to actually work effectively in the company. Secondly, besides being curious, is staying focused. Okay, clear communication, effective communication is very, very key. If you don't ask, your line manager wouldn't know. If you don't seek for clarification, nobody knows that you require those clarification. So open communication is very, very key. Number four, interpersonal skill, meaning how you navigate yourself. How do you want to portray yourself as Farah in company A, company B? Yeah, and also getting to know the different personality that you meet in terms of your line manager, in terms of your co-workers. So interpersonal skill is very, very key. In fact, until today, so, we actually do not look just mere on technical skill, but we look at interpersonal skill and communication. These two is a very, very fundamental because this will make a break your, how to say, in terms of your working relationship with your line manager and the co-workers. Other than that is the be curious, resourceful. Be resourceful is also another key qualities. And last but not least, stay focused and be responsible. Being yeah, I already mentioned being responsible. So those are some of the key things. And plus, I do not want to repeat some of the tips that I gave earlier.
Thank you. Thank you, Farah, for the question. So, yeah, a lot of the tips that you already said was already answered in the questions before. So, let's move on to the next question. This is from Nurul Natasha. May I ask, what can we do to face with politics in workplace?
So first of all, what is key is to be able to smell or know that if there's such thing as politics. That's number one. Now, normally at the internship level, even at the junior working level, you will not be affected by the politics. But politics exists in all companies, even including men. So I don't want to give you I'm going to give you a reality, yeah, the reality. So how do you navigate this? How do you face it? Number one, you yourself don't be a politician. Don't be a politician in the workplace, what I meant. Yeah. Don't play the politics. How you want to make sure that you don't play the politics? Then don't talk about it. Like I said just now, don't join gossip. Don't get involved with office gossip because there are people who likes to gossip in the office, and usually they gossip about the politics of things. And number two, you just stay focused and how to stay true to yourself, be professional, and just focus in getting things done. My starting career in bank, especially in RHB Bank, where there were so many politics. But I remember those days. I just observed from afar, okay, and you observe as part of learning, okay, and making sure that then you don't do like how then the losing politicians do in the company. Okay, then you just make sure that you focus on delivering so that you are assessed based on what you are being delivered. And you'll be surprised, I don't join office gossip. If I go for lunch with certain group of people and they tend to gossip, then I won't join their lunch anymore, or I just join and just be quiet and just listen. I don't add, because you know why? Because you do not want to be quoted as well, and then it will backfire you. So that is why it is key. Sometimes, even if let's say you so happen to be in the gossip conversation, for example, right? Then you just be quiet. You just listen, nodded, but refrain from giving your own views or opinion because afraid that you will be quoted and it will backfire you unnecessarily. So
Right.
hopefully that's some tips how to face politics in the workplace.
I hope that gives you some clarification, Natasha. So I think we have one last question for you from the audience. Okay, so we have one question from Sarah Alia. I would like to know what is the best way to answer questions we don't know during interview, but at the same time we don't want to look unprepared. Okay, I'll open the floor to you.
Okay, this is a very good question, and please, don't be surprised that I myself at my stage of attending interviews, sometimes you do get surprise question. So first of all, stay calm, take a deep breath, and then if really, really the question is something that you really cannot bullshit or you cannot even try to answer, let them know, be honest. Just say that I just want to be very honest with you. I really do not have the answer to this question. However, if I can be given the opportunity to work for you, I will definitely find out and I will come back to you. So that's also one of the way to say it to the panel interviewer. Yeah. Um, because the last thing that you want is that you try, but the answer may not seem logical, then it will not look good on you as well. So it depends. So and sometimes it's good to be very honest, saying that, oh, pardon my ignorance, I may not have stumbled upon into this subject or matter, but I'm gonna find out after this. Thank you so much for building that curiosity in me now for me to find out. So you can turn it that way as well. And sometimes you answer it with a humor, you never know. You might still get the job because you have, that's where it comes with the interpersonal skill. Ah.
Be witty about it, lah. Kan?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess that's all the questions that we have from our audience today. But I have one final question for you, circling back to the question that I had before, which is, would it be better for us as interns to apply with a startup company or a very well established company?
So to answer to your question, there's no right or wrong answer to this as well.
Right.
You will get the best of both type of companies. When you go and join the startup company, oh my God, that is very exciting, because if you love something where you get to do a lot of creativity thinking, okay, and testing out your how to say, learning agility, a startup company would be good because they would expect new ideas, and they would expect creativity, and you are given white piece of paper, and up to you how you want to draw it, how you want to go through it. So that's the exciting part about startup company, and what it will do good for you if in the future when you go and join another startup company along the way your career, that will be a good credential for your profile, because you've been in a company where infrastructure is not there, maybe, certain governance and framework is not there. So you were there as the pioneer, and you were there as the people who then create or develop something new for the company. So if that matches with your profile, then that's great. Now, company established, long established. That one also you can gain also a lot of good learning as well. And this is where the company usually have already an established framework. They have an established policy, and also parameters and governance and whatnot. So when they have that, you get to learn where a company is properly set up, and the infrastructure is stable. So that will be a good learning even in the future. If someone were to hire a company, a startup company, wants to hire someone to build such thing, you can also add value because you come from somewhere that already long established with those established framework and infrastructure. So there's no right or wrong. It's all about how do you want to feel excited about your work assignment. Be it something where really tests your creativity and learning agility, or doing a lot more absorbing and understanding about the existed infrastructure, and then try to then add value from there. So that would be, my answer to your question.
All right. Thank you for the clarification, Ms. Aiza. I believe we've all had our questions answered today. We've had newfound information, new knowledge, and tips and tricks from Ms. Aiza today. So before we wrap up our talk for today, I would like to remind all of you again to kindly fill in your attendance form and fill them in carefully, as you will be receiving e-certificates and Starpoint for this. And another thing for you to do is please fill in the evaluation form that is also inserted in the description or in the comment section below. Thank you again, all of you, for attending the talk today. Again, I would like to remind you that Wanted Soft Skills is a huge program, is a 3-day program organized by Public Relations Division. Besides today, we also have 2 other days and 2 different talks. Day 2, tomorrow, we will have flexibility and adaptability. You might be curious about the working world and your adaptability of the working world there. If you have questions from here that you can proceed to adaptability, you can forward those questions tomorrow for tomorrow's talk. And on day 3, on Saturday, we have the topic of got a win-win situation, which is related to persuasion and negotiation. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our morning for today. On behalf of the Organizing Committee, Public Relations of KLMSS, we would like to thank all of you for making your time in your busy schedule. Maybe all of you are in holidays. Thank you again for attending this morning. Yes, it's a holiday. You might not want to wake up early, but thank you again for attending the talk to gain knowledge. Before we wrap up completely, let's take a photo or a screenshot. If the committee is ready, we will be proceeding with the photography session now. We are ready. Miss Aiza and I are ready. So if you're done with the photography session, please let us know. All right. I think they're done. That was awkward a bit. Okay, thank you. Thank you, committee. Okay, thank you again, all of you, for making your time. Thank you to Miss Aiza again for making your time today. We are very, very thankful to have you here. It's been a pleasure to host this event, and I wish you all a pleasant day and a pleasant Ramadan ahead for the last 10 days. And thank you. See you again in the future. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.